Today we will be learning about chapter number 1 of our class 10th, that is real numbers. Okay, so what are real numbers? As we have studied in our previous classes, real numbers comprises both of rational and irrational numbers, right? What do we mean by them? We already know about them. Okay, so in short, we mean real numbers, any number on this number line which can moves up to infinity and here up to minus infinity. Let's now break the. Let's not talk about minus here. Let's just talk about that every number on a real line, every point, if this point, if this point, if this point, these are all numbers, and especially these are all real numbers. It may be rational or they may be irrational. Okay, so let me tell you the main topics that we will be studying here, that will be about in this chapter. The main topics from which the questions are asked is about that there are two very main basic topics that are asked about from this chapter. Okay, the first one is Euclid division algorithm, and the second one is the fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Right, so basically what is we will talk about Euclid's division algorithm in detail. First of all, we have studied in earlier classes that the fundamental theorem of arithmetic is for proving the irrationality of numbers, or if we have to explore if the decimal expansion is terminating and when it is non-repeating. So basically it is used to for irrationality of numbers. Okay, it is basically used for irrationality. Next, let's come on to, first of all, let's come into Euclid's division lemma. So what does the Euclid's division lemma states? Euclid's division lemma states that given positive integers a and b, there exist unique integers q and r such that a is equals to bq plus r, where r lies between 0 and b. Okay, this is basically our Euclid's division lemma. This lemma is basically used to for our computing the HCF, as HCF basically of two positive integers. This lemma is further used for the HCF of two numbers. Suppose we are being given a question that we have to use just a second. We have to use Euclid's division lemma to find out the HCF. To find HCF of numbers are 4052 and 12576. Here we know that this number is greater than this number, right? So we wrote 12576 here, and let us think that our b is 4052 into 133 plus 420. We notice that this number r lies between 0 and this number, right? So since but still we are having a remainder which is not 0, so let us move forward. Because 420 is not equal to 0, so we have to apply this lemma again. So here we'll be left with 4052 equals to 420 into 9 plus 272, right? But still we notice that this remainder part is not equal to 0, so we move it again, do it again. 420 equals to 272 into 1 plus 148, still not 0, moving again. 272 is equals to 148 into 1 plus 124, still not 0, moving again. 148 is equals to 124 into 1 plus 24, still not 0, but let's go on for another time. This is equal to 24 into 5, 24 into 5 plus 4, still not 0, so let's go for 24 equals to 4 into 6 plus 0. This time our remainder is 0, that means our HCF is 4, because it was the last remainder that we was having before our remainder was 0. So this means that our HCF is 0. So moving forward, let me tell you that this Euclid's division algorithm and lemma, this is the Euclid's division lemma, and when it is moved or combined with the algorithm part of Euclid's division algorithm, then they both comprise and form the division algorithm. Okay, they both comprise together to form the division algorithm. Now let us take a look at the exercise. Now this was exercise 1.1, which was you used Euclid's division algorithm to find the HCF of, and here these are these numbers. So let us go for only one solution and then I'll tell you more. Okay, 135 and 225, as 225 is greater, so it is here, and 135 multiplying it, still not 0, getting the remainder, so moving it again. Okay, still our remainder was not 0, so doing it again for the last time, and now our remainder is 0, that means our HCF is this 45. I hope it is clear to you. Also this number which is 45, it is also HCF to 135 and 90. This is also an HCF to 225 and 135. That means for A and B. Here also A and B. Okay. Now moving on to another question. To show that any positive odd integer is of the form 6q plus 1, 6q plus 3 or 6q plus 5, where q is some integer. So let A be any positive integer. Okay, and b equals to 6. Then by Euclid's algorithm we have this A equals to 6q plus r, because we are all having the numbers in the form of 6q, so we took a b as 6 for some integer q equals to 0. And if our b is 6, then and our r always lies between 0 r less than b, so b is now our 6, that means r is equals to 0 1 2 3 4 5, right? So now substituting the value, if r equals to 0, then a equals to 6q, and 6q is an even. Okay, now let us going for 6q plus 1. As we know that whenever it is an odd number, since 6q is also an even number, and when we are adding another even number, if it is 2, if it is 4, then they both are going to be an even number. So that means if we are going to add 6q plus 1 or 6q plus 3 or 6q plus 5, then it is going to be an odd number. So that means this is true, and hence we showed it. Okay, an army contingent, let us study this. An army contingent is of 616 members is to march behind an army band of 32 members in a parade. The two groups are to march in the same number of columns. If there has to be the same number of columns, then we must find and the question is we have to find what is the maximum number of columns in which they can march. Then that means we have to find the HCF of 616 comma 32. We can find it by Euclid's division algorithm, or we can say Euclid's division lemma. Finding it, we get that the HCF was 8. HCF was 8. That means the maximum number of columns in which they can march is 8, right? So coming on to the last question, using Euclid's division lemma to show that the square of any positive integer is either of the form 3m plus 1 or 3m plus 1 or some integer n. Now let x be a positive integer, y equals to 3. Then by Euclid's division algorithm, it will be equal to x equals to 3q plus r. Since r is equals to 0 less than r less than 3, so r equals to 0, 1 and 2. Okay, so we took it as, now as for the question, squaring both sides, this happens. Then 3q squaring, letting it as m, then therefore x square equals to 3m. X square is basically equals to 3m, where m is x square is basically equals to 3m. We get it from here, but our x square was also equals to 3q plus 1 whole square, right? Because our x was also this. So now substituting this value, we get this value, which is equals to this 3 into plus 1, 3 into this something is our equals to quotient. So this is equals to 3 letting this term now m, that means it is equals to our 3m plus 1, right? This has now taken the form of 3m plus 1. Now x square, if it is equals to 3q plus 2 whole square, then this things happens, and then we take 3 common from this, then we get others. And also substituting m over here, this value as m, we get 3m plus 1 over here also. So we can say that the square of any positive integer is either of the form 3m or 3m plus 1 for some integer n. This will also be in the same manner that we have done above. Okay, in this we have to only let it, like if x equals to some x be any positive integer and we have been given this form, so let y equals to 3. Using Euclid's division algorithm, we get this. Since r can only take value 0, 1, 2, so first this means r is for first it is equals to 3q, then 3q plus 1, then 3q plus 2. If our x is equals to 3q, then x square equals to this, then that is a form of 3m, right? It is equals to 3m, it is a form of 3m. Or if it is 3q plus 1, x equals to, then it is a form of also 3m plus 1. And if it is a form of the remainder we taken as 2, then it is also can be done in the form of 3m plus 1. That was the only thing. I hope I was able to convince you with this. So stay tuned for more videos, and I will surely be giving you those. Thank you.